Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is just going to be a really short and sweet daily cryptocurrency market update, as I've got quite a lot of decisions to make today in regards to what the coming week may bring for the crypto space. We've got a lot going on. You know, we had the job report come out on Friday for the US. This showed that potentially the economy was looking strong. There's yin and a yang to this in the sense that this really gives Jerome Powell the powers and the confidence to keep pushing with rate hikes, as we're not seeing a slowing down in the job market as of yet. We are seeing a slight slowing down, but not, at an alarming pace. And we actually had the non-farm payroll that came well over expected, which is typically a good sign. And when I'm looking at the cryptocurrency market right now, let me just reiterate this bias, because people get confused with me saying that, and we've always said, there's going to be a relief rally at some point, we're just not sure where. And over the past week, it's been a very uncertain week for the cryptocurrency market. We had the Fed's minutes, we had the non-farm payroll, haven't really done a great deal, and they've actually took it more positively than negatively, I think, markets across the board. So there's always been this kind of, possibility of a relief rally, certainly given just the capitulation we've seen thus far in the crypto space. But does that mean that this is the bottom? I'm seeing so many people call this the bottom. They also called this the bottom, and this the bottom. And we were actually a part of this. We thought that, crypto was maybe going to recover here. It wasn't until over here where we really started to get out and maintain that cautious approach. And that's served us so far. And ultimately, I do believe these markets see further capitulation. There's so many landmines still out there. One big one that I'm going to talk about once I've got through the TA is sort of the Mt.Gox issue that is going to now sort of turn its head. Because if Mt.Gox do deliver 150,000 Bitcoin to the people that it was stolen from way back, I think 8 years ago, undoubtedly a lot of them would sell Bitcoin onto the open market. And that's a real issue. But I think maybe August is when we're looking at for this. So there's still definitely the possibility for this rally to continue. You are coming up and hitting your head on the 200 weekly moving average. If you did reclaim that, I think that would give traders a lot of confidence moving forwards. And is it out of the realms of possibility that we do something like this, come back into this area of consolidation, deviate from it before then that next down leg? I'm very confident Bitcoin sees 15K and potentially lower. And I think altcoins, of course, are going to follow suit and sell off significantly more. But in the meantime, in the coming weeks, does that mean that we can't see a rally? I think that, the odds right now, the probabilities of this rally continuing are more stacked to that being the case than not. And this is a very, very textbook W double bottom. This was capitulation. And you can see how this, we'll call it a right butt cheek, is a lot more rounded, a lot less volatile. And if we look at the volume profile, you can see that kind of supports it. Huge volume here. Very, very low volume. On the second push, you see an uptick, but still lower volume than the first move. And now you're seeing volume gain to the upside. We've also got the demand index that we have spoken about a lot more in detail with my Patreons. And you got your RSI. So there's no deviations here so far. The money flow is also to the upside. Ultimately, right now, there's more telling me that this potentially is a W double bottom. And it could be a variety of things, actually. The pattern very much is a W double bottom. But if we drop down the time frames, can you see how you're compressing with this? At least a push into this. Or potentially you do something similar to what you did over here, which was a longer period of consolidation. But this is still broadly a bear flag. Even if we pushed up, bear flags come in many different shapes and sizes. I still think you form a bear flag here and get that lower continuation, just to really stress the point that ultimately I'm still very biased that markets see a lot more downside before we get that upside. But we have had quite a significant leg of downside already. For me, the 22K mark is absolutely key. Could this turn into some sort of a head and shoulders? Potentially. So there's quite a few things right now that are telling me maybe this rally continues and these markets get a relief. It's largely dependent on the stock market. I don't even know why I'm bothering trading crypto at the moment, because I might as well just become an ES and an NASDAQ trader. The thing is with this, and this is what we have spoken about continuously now, is the fact you know, when we were up here, we were saying, you know, we were actually calling this a head and shoulders. This wasn't my draw. This was the Crypto Snipers draw, and we very much saw that was a likely play. But you can see where you bounce. You bounce at this 200 weekly moving average. This has held you for 8 years. Ultimately, I think because we're going into a recession, we're going to interact with it in a similar way to what we previously have, where we get the bounce and then we eventually slam through. But that still leaves this window for this to maybe continue this month. You know, as there's no sort of other news for the Fed, markets have really priced a lot in. The problem is more news will come, more catalysts are on the way, and ultimately I think that leads to downside. But you can see, you know, so far, from the bottom here to where we currently are, that's a 9% rally. Ignore the COVID rally. You know, typically you do get nice bounces. Even in going into a bear market, you're going to get more of an extended bounce than what we've currently seen. You know, this was a 17% rally. This was a 14% rally. You know, the one that you had, or the couple that you had actually were you know, between 20 and sort of 25% back in the .com boom. Possible. I think if momentum shifts and traders start to get behind this, they may push it. Not somewhere where I'm actually looking to take a position as of yet, just simply because we're at resistance. You know, I want to get some sort of confirmation and break here. Short term, very much a symmetrical triangle. Typically a continuation pattern to the short-term trend because it's a short-term triangle. Short-term trend at the moment is up. You know? So I do think this could continue. And the issue then you've then got is if it does, well, this is a very, you know, this area could come and get filled back in. And we could set up a scenario that leads to more downside like we had over here. I think that's more probable than the continuation down. But the issue you've got is it's a very sketchy market right now. And there's not really a lot, you know, of confidence out there. And one more catalyst, we're seeing lots of like Celsius and then these other exchanges sort of stabilize, if you will. Some of them have just straight up gone into bankruptcy. But this is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I spoke about this 2 years ago, actually. I made a video called Mt.Gox won't affect the price of Bitcoin because they never actually got around to unlocking it. And this has been a constant fear or a constant threat. So until this happens and I get confirmation that 150,000 Bitcoin are going to potentially find their way onto the open market, or certainly into the hands of people who may dump it on the open market, I'm not going to really react too much into it. And this isn't going to be, you know, I think this is a couple months away, if anything. Bitcoin faces Mt.Gox Black Swan as trustee prepares to unlock 150,000 Bitcoin. The prospect of a rumored 150,000 Bitcoin flooding the market gets real as Mt.Gox creditors choose how much money to receive in cash, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So even though this is rumors, the Mt.Gox creditors are essentially giving people the option of how they want the money. That means that it's probably not, or the kind of repayment of these individuals that lost money at the time probably isn't that far away. Bitcoin faces a new selling threat in the near future as users of defunct exchange Mt.Gox prepare to get back their BTC. In fresh correspondence dated July the 6th, attorney, not going to try and say his name, appointed trustee in the Mt.Gox rehabilitation process confirms that he was preparing to make repayments to account holders. So there is some official word on this. Over 8 million years after Mt.Gox exploited, basically Jed McCaleb and a number of other people. Jed McCaleb's now the founder of Stellar. Essentially just kept everyone's Bitcoin on one computer that got hacked. I mean, what could have gone wrong? But hindsight is always 2020. Essentially, it's talking about, you know, getting the Bitcoin, or if they want it in cash, back to the individuals. And they would undoubtedly sell. Some of these guys have been holding it since you know, $500 8 years ago. So, and even less. So essentially, you know, undoubtedly, I think some of them are going to see the profits and stuff. And they'd be wrong. They'd be kind of stupid not to be quite honest. So this is a threat. This is what I mean. This is one of probably many threats that there are to the crypto space right now. But have we seen enough sell pressure to warrant a kind of extended relief rally? I think that that's probably the case, but doesn't have to happen. You know, it's not a certain call either way. But if I'm going to bias the short-term move that we have over the next week, I would say it's generally going to be to the upside. I think traders are starting to get behind this. We're watching a sentiment shift. You've still got to get people FOMOing in. But that being said, you know, crypto's very skittish right now, and ultimately we're in for a choppy time, guys. So just, you know, if you are going to trade this, make sure you take the profits when they come, and make sure you keep your risk management, you know, now more than ever in check. So stick to what you're risking on each trade. In terms of accumulating crypto, really going to wait for lower prices generally. We're still majority cash, majority USDC, still all in crypto, even if I do have a fiat position. And that's going to remain very much the plan. But looking at these markets, you can see how, they've been very sold down. A relief rally would be warranted. Ultimately, that's going to set up good short opportunities, and I may look to take longs, today and over the weekend, certainly going into next week if I think this is going to continue. That's all I've got for you in this video, guys. Stay vigilant out there. We've still got the Mt.Gox issues. Also, very quickly, Aave are actually going to launch their over-collateralized stablecoin, which is going to be very interesting. And I think, algorithmic stablecoins are going to still be a thing and actually a lot more a part of the crypto space as we move forwards. All I've got for you on this one. If you enjoy the content, like is always appreciated. So as a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.